Today is March 13th, 2005, and I am sitting here with Mr. Harry Kaplan of Savannah, Georgia. This interview is sponsored by Morning Star, and the subject is Jewish War Veterans Stories of World War II, which will be submitted to the Veterans History Project at the American Folklife Center of the Library of Congress. Mr. Kaplan.
Ready? I was at University of South Carolina in the second semester, junior, on my way for the degree in engineering, when my father had a heart attack and I had to stop school and go run his store. After he got well, I was drafted, sent to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where on the first day there, the captain called me into his room and says, "I want you to be a fighter pilot." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're small and that's what we need." I said, "Is this voluntary or I have to do it?" He says, "Voluntary." I said, "Well, I'll refuse." And I walked away. We were sent to Fort Swift, Texas, Camp Swift, Texas, where I took my training at first in anti-aircraft. Then we left and came back, and they put us in the 91st Chemical Mortar Battalion. We left to go overseas on the, I think it was February 1944, on the USS Wakefield. Took us 8 days to get across. We landed at Omaha on October 21st, 1944. I joined General Patton on the 10th of December, and on December 25th, Christmas Day, we were attacked by the 8th Infantry Regiment, where our rear maintenance truck was strafed. I was 2 Jeeps up front. Immediately after the strike by the airplanes, we found out it was friendly fire, and 4 of my men were killed. Three killed rather, 4 wounded. We lost another on Company A, and a little while later, we were in service 117 continuous days. Shot through head. Another time we found 21 bodies.
Yeah. We're ready to go. Okay.
You ready now? Huh? And another time immediately following this, we found another grave with 85 bodies partially buried, and we made the town bury them. But the most tragic of all of these was immediately after that, we found 800 murdered bodies, Polish, French, and Jewish, in one burial ground where we had to force the Germans to bring them out of the grave, and the towns around had to bury them. And speaking of Patton, who was to me the greatest general in the war, I was standing on the road one day trying to cross this muddy road when I saw a Jeep coming down the road and saw that it had General's license on it. So I snapped to attention. It was General Patton speeding, having his driver speed down the road. He hit the mud puddle right in front of me and splattered me with mud all over my body. He was a great general, though. At one time, I'm going to tell some stories now, I'll be all right.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
At one time, I don't know if you would call it liberated or what, a concentration camp where we took 2 Jewish refugees with us, and they traveled with us for 4 months. They were thin, sick, and everything when we picked them up, but when we let them off after 4 months, they were healthy and spry, and they were doing great. Some other incidents was one time we found 2 Jewish refugees, brothers, fighting for food because they were so hungry. We had a lot of battles. We went through a lot, and I'll repeat some of them. My outfit occupied doing combat operations, all companies, 641 cumulative positions. We fired 780 missions. We took 2,326 PWs, and we had quite a number of Purple Heart, Silver Stars, Bronze Stars that came out of the men we had. And not too much I can remember other than some of the things that, like we moved back when I was after the war, they made my outfit military government, and I was a staff sergeant at the time, or sergeant, I'm not sure which it was at that time, and I had to go into these towns and get the mayor to accumulate all the weapons and all the cameras and have them in his office the next day. And if he didn't, he got into a lot of trouble. So he'd go by the next day and pick them all up and take them back to our main camp. And a lot of the battles that we were in, it seems that everything just runs together. I had a squad, and I was platoon sergeant. My squad was the 4th Squad, 3rd Platoon, A Company, and we had some incidents that were a little humorous. One of them being, I had a Jewish captain in our outfit, and we hadn't had a bath in I don't know how many weeks, so he went back somewhere and found a place for us to take, and he took us back Jeep by Jeep to get bathed. Then one day he brought us all ice cream, so he was a nice guy. Other than that, it's not too much to tell about the stories because it all was all in one cumulative manner where we fought from town to town. We received a lot of citations, and the outfit was a great outfit. And one more little incident that happened was when my friend of mine and I woke up one morning and we were guarding our position when up the hill he saw a lot of American soldiers wounded walking down the hill. And he started up. I said, "Tom, where you going?" He said, "I'm just going to walk right up here." So I said, "Okay." So he went up and he got halfway up and they called him up to come on up to help him bring these guys down. He received a Silver Star. I got nothing. And he bragged about it the whole time I was in there. So those are the few things that I don't know too
What about some of the battles you were in?
Okay, I'll have to read those.
The major battles that you were in.
All right, hold still.
Okay. I'll just
Go ahead.
Okay, move your hands.
Okay, bring it down. Take the picture down, Huh?
The European American Middle Eastern Campaign, 3 battle stars. Then I had the Efficiency, Honor, Fidelity Award. Then I had the American Campaign Award. And then I had the Army of Occupation Award and the World War II Award. Of course, these don't mean nothing up here. And that was my award, the 5 medals I received. In the Battle of the Bulge, we entered on, let's see, I can't remember. But I entered the Battle of the Bulge, and during the latter part of the Bulge, we had a lot of action. I lost a lot of men, and it was very cold, and we slept most of the nights in snow-covered foxholes. My outfit was one of the awarded outfits for the period of time we were there. We got a lot of accommodations from a lot of the generals. We did a good job. We fought a lot of times in front of the infantry to knock out positions so that they could come in and clear them out. It was rough, but it was worth it. That's about all. I don't know what I'm going to tell you. The book's got plenty, but I can't. They give a whole detail on them. They don't call my name, so.
When it said mortar battalion, what exactly did you do? What was your job exactly in your battalion?
My mortar consisted of a big gun. We used to have to dig out a platform, and then we place the gun in it, and there's a big mortar. And when we had fire, we could set the mortar to go to a certain distance, a certain position. Then we'd drop a shell, a 4.2 mortar shell. The shell would go up and fire. I lost a lot of men at the gun placement. One day we were there when the incoming fire hit one of my gun placements directly and killed 2 of my men, and 2 of the men in my outfit. And many nights we had to stay up all night firing. And like I said before, how many missions we fired, and we really did a good job. My outfit was very, very, very highly commended. Then after that, they made me military government, as I said before, and we used to just take care of business, seeing that they did the Germans did what they were supposed to do. And then we came back to the States and went back to Camp Swift, Texas, and that's where we were all discharged from.
Your job as staff sergeant, did you have so many men that you were responsible for?
Yeah, that's sure. See, that's my outfit right there.
And these were the men that you were...
That's my squad right there.
Right here.
That's a picture right here.
Did you lose any of these men?
None directly at the end of the war. Like I say, we lost, it wasn't my men directly, my squad, but we lost those guys right at the start of the war. And then we lost a lot of guys Like the ones that got hit with a shell, some of them got in auto accidents, some got shot and killed. We lost quite a few men. I think it tells us how much men we lost altogether. But it was I never talked too much about it, it just didn't hit home.
When the war was over, what was your reaction, and where were you, and what was your reception when you came back home?
I was glad to get out.
Were you, you were there until the war was over? You were.
Yeah, oh yeah, we were over there, and when we came home, they were already discharging people. In fact, like I was saying before, this friend of mine, this Tom Langfan, he received the Silver Star. That made him get out before me, so he got 5 points for that, getting the Silver Star. But these citations and all, and this just different little stories that it's hard for me to remember.
Right.
Okay.
What was one of your most frightening experiences that happened? Was there one specific time that was?
One of the most frightening experiences, one of them, it was a couple of them, but one of them was one night I was on guard duty and all hell broke loose. Fire going everywhere, noise. We didn't know what was happening, we couldn't find out. We later found out it was our own guns that had parked behind us and were doing some overhead firing. It made all the noise and scared everybody. So that was one of the most frightening. Another one of the most frightening, I think, was the first day in action when we got strafed by our own men, and it was friendly fire, rather. And I lost those guys out of the maintenance truck. And that was my first day in action, and seeing somebody get killed. And afterwards, you don't get used to it, but you see a lot of it. And you pass by it. I saw a lot of cut in half bodies, things, all that kind of stuff. But it was, now there was a lot of Jewish boys in my outfit too. There was another Kaplan in my outfit. Not him directly, he was in a different company. But there was a lot of Jewish boys in my outfit too.
Did you know about the concentration camps when you were there in the beginning?
Oh, we knew they had them, we just didn't know where they were. And like I say, the two that we captured, we took with us, I can't even recall the place where we got them from, but I recall them very vividly. In fact, there they are right there. Mo and
These
Joe.
are the young boys that came with you?
Mo and Joe.
Right here?
Yeah.
Mo and Joe. They look pretty good shape, don't
They
they?
were in good shape then. They used to do a lot of things for us. We'd come into a town and they'd take our dirty clothes and go to these houses and make them wash them. They made them wash them. They didn't want to wash them, but they made them. So things like that happened.
How was the food when you were in the foxhole? What
Well, a lot
type
of
of food
times
did
you
you
had
eat?
sea rations and stuff like that. And we never suffered too much from the food. It was just good. At the end of the war, another thing, I got to go to Paris, so which I hadn't been before.
Did the locals treat the American soldiers
Okay.
and try to
most of them
very
did.
happy to see you?
Most of them did because they were kind of frightened of us, because we helped them out so much. And but I had no problems with them. When we got back home, everything worked. They made me acting first sergeant in my outfit, and my lieutenant wanted me to stay in, and he gave me privilege to become a first sergeant. And I said, "No way, you gonna stay in?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, you ain't gonna get me in here either." So we both got out.
While you were overseas, did you happen to meet any people that you knew from Savannah or other places that you happened upon? And
The only one I knew, he was in my outfit, was a guy from Columbia called Jack Gottlieb. And I don't know where he's at now. He was the only one I can remember ever meeting.
do you ever have any reunions, or have you had in the
No.
past with any of the people in your battalion?
No, never. They never had anything like that. I don't recall anybody ever calling me from service.
More questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
I ain't going nowhere.
How were the spirits of the troops?
Most of them were
Doing
good.
all of this,
Most of them
time.
were good. The trip over was rough on some. In fact, my sergeant, who was the toughest man in the outfit, got sick the first day, and he stayed in the sick bay all the way across. But most of the troops over there were in good spirits. They knew we had what we had to do, and we did it.
Did you feel like you were adequately trained for your
Oh,
job?
yeah, definitely so. Yeah, we had good training, we had good officers. In fact, I met my lieutenant at Tybee after the war one time, going by, and we recognized each other. He was up from Pennsylvania, and I think he was down here for some reason, and I guess a vacation, and we met. So we were, the spirit between the men and the officers were good.
Did you feel like you had adequate supplies throughout the war?
Only thing was, at one time, something went wrong with some of the shells that we were using, and we had to dump them and get new ones, but we had enough.
If you wanted to have correspondence from the States, did it take a long time to receive letters, or
I never
was
had to do it. I never got any correspondence. I have joined the World War II. You know, they built the World War II veteran memorial in Washington.
Yeah.
I joined that way back.
But when you were in the service, did your letters from your family,
Came.
and they came,
Yeah.
and there wasn't a problem getting
No,
letters?
as far
And
as I know, I seemed to get them.
Uh-huh.
And everything else went all right.
Were you married at the time?
No.
How old were you when you went into the service?
In 21 when I went in, and I came out by 23 or 24. So I came to Savannah, and then Lena and I got married in 46. 48.
Well, I
48.
certainly thank you for this information and for talking to us tonight,
right.
and very
enough.
informative. If you have any other stories
No,
you
I
want to
don't
tell
know.
us, we can go.
There's plenty of them, but I just can't remember them. I looked through this book yesterday, and I couldn't find them. Yeah.
When you arrived in France and you were at Omaha Beach and your ship, how did you get off of your major ship onto the land?
Well,
And tell us about
they
that.
docked and let us off. We went to the Omaha Beach. Before we got there, when Omaha Beach was first taken, it was a cliff. And to this day, I don't understand how they got up there. But when I got there, they had already cut steps in the cliff, and we were able to walk up the steps. And when we got up to the top of the steps, thousands of graves, American graves, is already with the crosses and the stars, all, I mean, as far as you could see. And then we went on up there, and we went, and they bivouacked us, put us in a place with nothing but mud. We slept in mud for a few days, and then we moved up, and that's when we moved up is when that tragedy happened with those young fellows.
What about if you were sick? Did you have good medical?
Yeah, while I was
Care?
in over there, I don't recall getting too sick. I got sick back in the States one time, like with the flu. And they work you, they don't care how sick you get, you got to do certain things. So, but that was when I was in the States.
while you were in France and Germany, did you have any news reporters following you like they do today, or how did they get the news
No, I don't know how
back to
they
the
got
States?
I really don't know how they got it. They issued the paper every so often, and you read what the news. One time I recall was funny. Eisenhower had ordered General Patton to take Nice, France, with 3 divisions. I think 2 or 3 divisions. He wired back, took Nice yesterday with 1 division. He slapped Eisenhower.
Any other Patton stories that you can recall?
The time, well, the most famous one when he slapped that soldier. That's famous all over.
Can you say something about that? Some people might not know that story.
I don't recall too much about it, but he went to the hospital, and the soldier said something detriment to what he wanted to hear, and he slapped him, and there was a big thing about it, but he got over it, and I think the soldier straightened up or whatever happened.
Did you get news as far as what was going on when you were on the front? How did you know what was happening with the war?
Mostly through Stars and Stripes.
Which is what?
The paper that they issued to soldiers, and we get what news we get from them. Our officers would tell us sometime, and I don't really recall other than, like I say, I saw a lot of bodies, but most of them were German bodies. Our bodies, I guess, were picked up by our hospital corps or mortuary corps, whatever it is, and taken away. But those things, really, my problem has been I forgot a lot of it. I guess I tried to forget a lot of it, and I had to look back at the book, and that's the only way I keep up with
Memories.
it. And then it's all so damn intermingled. You went from this town to that town to this town to that town, and you just don't know where you were at. But I remember we ended up in Titling, and then we took over as military government.
When you traveled, was it mostly in Jeep and trucks, or
Truck.
was there a
Jeep.
lot of walking?
Jeep. Mostly Jeeps. So we had a big gun, so we had to carry it on the truck. We couldn't carry it on an arm. We had to carry it on the truck. And we get a lot of orders. Of course, they had to move out to see here's our gun. And that's about it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any closing words of
No. I just
that
don't
you'd
want
like
to see
to-
no more wars. I'd like to see this one over with.